Hello everyone. We'll now study about the load calculation for beam, slab and column. Similarly, in the later stages, I am going to teach how to design the beam or column or slab or footings. Everything I'll be teaching you step by step, and I'll calculate this moment, bending moments using moment distribution method or slope deflection method, then Carney's rotation method. Actually, how we will calculate in this field practical we are going to study in this video. Okay. Initially, first to study about the slab load calculation. Okay. In this slab load, we are going to consider dead load and live load. So, you know that suppose this is your multi-story building and this is your column, this is your beam, and along with the slab, this is the elevation of the building. Suppose these are the slab. Okay. This slab which is connecting to the first floor, second floor, third floor, or etc. that is nothing but your floor slab, and which is at the top, okay, or at the terrace level, that is nothing but your roof slab. For this and for this little bit, the load calculation will be little bit variation, so that we'll study here. So first step to calculate the load. So first you have to consider the dead load. So here for floor slab, dead load you have to consider self weight of the beam or self weight of the slab, then floor finish of the slab. Floor finish is nothing but your which tile roof you are going to provide in the flooring, that is nothing but your floor finish. And next, partition wall if any is provided in the your rooms, then that you have to consider in the slab load calculation. Okay, first one is self weight. How to calculate this self weight? Self weight is nothing but whatever you are taking the cross section. So here first initially you will design for, or you will consider the capital letter D, that is nothing but overall depth of the slab. Okay, that how to consider this overall depth, that I'll tell in the next classes. Okay, so suppose your overall depth is, just I'll assume here, suppose it is around 125 mm. Okay, this is your capital D. So overall depth that is 0.125. It is known as overall depth, or you can consider it as thickness of the slab. So 0.125 into, you have to multiply by density of the concrete. So here you are using the material as concrete. So density of concrete is taken as 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So density is unit weight of concrete is nothing but 25 kilonewton per meter cube. Just multiply by thickness, you will get self weight of the slab. So you will get 0.125 into 25, that is nothing but, just calculate it, it will be 3.125 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. Next you are considering the floor, or next we will consider the partition wall. So partition wall, this you can directly assume this partition wall load, that is 1 kilonewton per meter square. This assumptions it is given in IS 875. Okay, dead load calculation everything will be given in code IS 875 part 1. Okay, 1987. Here you have how to calculate the dead load for slab, beam, everything is given in that code book. So according to that, just consider this partition wall has directly 1 kilonewton per meter square. Next, third step, this is floor finish. So floor finish, just PCC thickness, that is plain cement concrete thickness will be around, we'll consider 25 mm. So multiply thickness 0.025 in meters into density of floor finish, you will consider usually 24. For PCC the density will be, for PCC the density is nothing but 24 and your value is 0.6 kilonewton per meter square. Suppose if your flooring is granite, its density is varying from, it will be around, density of granite is 25.9 to 27.45. This is the density of granite. Just multiply the thickness with density of the granite. You can consider floor finish if you are providing granite. Okay, this is your floor finish load calculation. Then just for dead load, consider total load. Total load, dead load is nothing but sulfate, that is 3.125. Then partition is 1 and this is 0.6, which is nothing but 4.725 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, this is your dead total load. So here just varying upon the thickness of the slab or thickness of the floor finish thickness, just you can vary this formula. And density for concrete and density for PCC, similarly according to the density of such floor finish, you have to just multiply and get the value of dead load. Okay, once this is done, next is live load calculation. For this live load, you have, for residential, usually live load is nothing but 2 kilonewton per meter square. Similarly, for industrial, we have for light duty, medium duty, and heavy duty. There are 3 categories for industrial live load. So it will be, for light it will be, you have to consider around 5 kilonewton per meter square. That is you can do for school building or commercial building. You can take 5 kilonewton per meter square. Medium, it is around 7 kilonewton per meter square. Then for heavy duty, you consider 10 kilonewton per meter square. This is a live load. This is according to IS 875 part 2, 1987. Okay, this is about floor slab calculation. Next we will consider the roof slab calculation, that is at the terrace level. Okay, so roof slab thickness, surface sulfate will be similar, that is like thickness of the slab. That if the slab thickness is 0.125, it will be same. 25 is the density of concrete, so it will be 3.125. Okay. Next step, here you have to consider, if there is any floor finish, you can consider that floor finish also according to the thickness. Otherwise, for terrace, we have to consider waterproof coating. Okay. Waterproofing will be done, that is for leakage. So that usually will take around 2 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. Therefore, so total dead load is nothing but 3 plus 2, that is 5.125 kilonewton per meter square is total dead load. Next, live load for roof will be, it will be almost, for residential we will consider half of it, that is, or it is here we will consider 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. For this 1.5 usually we consider, suppose if we are using that terrace for accessible roof, that is nothing but if we are using that terrace or using that roof for any purpose, then that is nothing, you will take around 1.5 kilonewton. Suppose if it is non-accessible is nothing but you are not using that floor or roof for the any purpose, but only for some maintenance work you will be using that roof slab. For that your live load calculation or live load can be taken as 0.9 kilonewton per meter square. This is all about slab load calculation. Next is beam load calculation. Work is nothing but the wall construction. Suppose this is nothing but this beam will be in plinth level. So this beam is nothing but plinth beam, and here it is nothing, it is in floor level. So beam is nothing but this beam is floor beam, and top one is top level beam is nothing but roof beam. Okay. While considering the plinth beam, see here, for plinth beam the weight only will be the superstructure or brickwork load, and you will have will put plastering inside and outside. That weight you have to consider for the plinth beam. For plinth beam only two loads you are going to consider and self weight of the beam. All three loads you have to consider, that is weight of brickwork, weight of plaster and self weight of beam. While coming to this floor level, you will have here, it will be a flanged slab beam or a different beam and slab. So according to that you have to design. Okay. You have to consider in the dead load calculation, you have to consider the slab load. That we'll see step by step. So first dead load, suppose it's a plinth, then weight of brickwork. So brickwork is, suppose your beam depth is how much? It is 0.3 meter. That is, beam dimension will be, assume just 230 into 300 mm. Okay. So total height of the story will be, that is 3 meter, and you have to deduct the beam depth, that is 0.3 into thickness of the wall. Thickness of the wall is nothing but 250 or 230, whatever you are going to consider. So I'll consider this is 250 mm wall. So 0.25 into density of brickwork is nothing but 19.2. Okay. So here value will be 14.4 kilonewton per meter. Next, plaster thickness, you will take both 12 mm for inside and outside. Okay. So again height of the wall 3 minus 0.3 into thickness for inside outside both thickness is 0.12 mm. So 2 into 0.012 into density of plaster is nothing but 20. Okay. So it is nothing but 1.44 kilonewton per meter. Next, self weight of beam. Self weight of beam is 0.25 into 0.3 into density of concrete. Okay. This you have to calculate. Then you have to calculate total load. This is only for plinth beam. So total load on plinth beam will be 17.715. Suppose if you are doing for floor beam, here up to this the calculation will be same, but you have to consider the weight of the slab also. So for calculation of weight of slab, usually you will have two types of slab, that is two-way slab and one-way slab. Okay, this is two-way slab and one-way slab. Suppose this is your one-way slab. This is your load distribution on beam. This is slab and this is your beam. Okay, suppose this is your beam. This is Lx, this is Ly. Shorter Lx is nothing but shorter direction length. Ly is longer direction length. So for this weight of slab, you have to consider total load that you have calculated, W into Lx by 3. This is your self weight of slab. Total load you will calculate using the slab calculation, that into shorter span distance divided by 3. This you have to add for this 17.715. You will get total load on floor beam. Suppose your slab is two-way. For two-way slab, that is the load distribution diagram is this. So your load distribution is in this space will be like this. Here it will be upward. This is a load distribution. All four sides if you have beam, B1, B2, B3 and B4. Okay. For this, suppose for this beam, this is a triangular portion. Self weight of slab will be slab on beam. Weight of slab on beam will be, for triangular portion again it is same, total load, that is W into Lx by 3. Okay. Suppose if your trapezoidal load if you are considering, then for that case the weight of slab on beam is nothing but W into Lx by 2, 1 minus 1 by 2 times beta. This is your formula. Here beta is nothing but Ly by Lx ratio. Okay. This is your beta. And just consider weight of slab, whichever portion or whichever beam you are going to calculate, for that portion you have to consider the weight of slab, then just add it on the load of the remaining section, brickwork, plaster and self weight of beam. For that add the weight of slab on beam also. Then that load you have to consider. Suppose this is your support and this is your beam. Here total load you have to consider for a weight on beam, that is brickwork, brickwork load plus plaster plus weight of slab. This total, these three loads and self weight of beam. These four loads you have to consider for calculation of the or to analyze the further beam. The load you have to consider this brickwork, plaster, weight of slab and self weight of beam. This is for floor beam. Okay. For this floor level, floor beam. Suppose if you are considering for roof beam, so suppose if it is 1 meter parapet wall, so 1 into thickness of parapet wall, that is you can take 0.125, okay, partition wall thickness, so 125 mm thickness of wall, 0.125, 19.2, that is 2.4 kilonewton per meter. Next, weight of plaster is same, 2 into 0.012 into for 1 meter, and density is 20. So it will be 0.48. Next, self-weight. Here you can consider different, assume and just I'll assume 125 by 0.2 mm beam size into density of concrete. Okay, then this total, then we have to consider the self weight of weight from roof slab. For roof slab you will consider different values, so that weight you have to consider. Okay, so that weight into Lx by 3 for one way. Similarly, for two way you have to consider these two, triangular portion and trapezoidal portion. Okay, this is about roof beam. Suppose if you are providing tie beam, tie beam is nothing but it is similar to plinth beam, but here tie beam usually in the brickwork in the height of 7 feet. Okay, 3 meter is around the height of 2.7 meter. You will provide one lintel concrete. So that is nothing but your, you can, if you are providing through lintel, then that is nothing but your tie beam calculation. So for tie beam, you can directly reduce the load from 40 to 60% of floor beam calculation. Floor beam or plinth beam, wherever you are going to provide, okay, this tie beam, just you consider 40 to 60% of that load. Suppose for this, suppose here you are going to provide the tie beam. So for that the total load was 17 kilonewton per meter. So that for that you multiply by 60%. So it will be around reduce it by 0.6. So that is nothing but your tie beam calculation. And for suppose if you are providing for lintel, this lintel beam, if you are for the construction of the residential building. So in case of that residential building, we can take this thickness of this lintel beam as 9 inch, directly has a thickness of wall, that is 0.23. Then you can avoid this beam if the span is small. Suppose if you have large span around 5 to 6 meter, then you have to provide floor beam. Otherwise, if you are providing here 0.3 thickness of the tie beam, then you can avoid this beam on the floor beam. That is only for if you are doing the residential building, only for ground, if you are providing ground floor and first floor. In that case, then you can do this. Okay, this usually they will do in the practical or in that the construction site. So these are the load calculation. In next, I'll just tell next class how to do this calculation if you are consider any plan layout, beam layout plan. In that, how to take the load on beam, plinth beam, floor beam and roof beam. I'll calculate step by step in the next coming video. Thank you.